Cub fans here with Cubs loyal fans here. What an amazing game last night. Sunday night baseball on August 12th. You figured it was going to be a pitching battle. They had Max. He's won like 3 Cy Youngs. He's a candidate this year. We had Cole Hamels, who has been great with the Cubs, and the game did not disappoint. It was definitely a pitcher's duel where Hamels was holding his own. He only gave up 1 run when Nationals kind of manufactured a run with the sacrifice fly, where Hayward may have been able to throw that guy out, but it was a little bit offline, scoring home. But overall, he had 9 Ks, only gave up 1 hit after 7 innings. Cubs only could manufacture like a couple base hits off of Max. And so it was a tough day. Amora had a double. That was pretty cool to do that. But just couldn't quite get it going in 7 innings. So going into the 8th inning, Cubs are down 1-0. And I was hoping maybe we could finally get to the pin, thinking if we hang in there long enough close that we could get it done, because Nationals bullpen has been their weakness of late. Injuries, and then they traded one guy and ineffectiveness. So we get into the 8th. We got some traffic on the bases, but was unable to get anything done. Going in the top of the 9th, we put in Kinsler in relief, and he had a bad day, walking a couple. One was intentional. The questionable move is walked Harper. I know he's past MVP too, but he's not having the best year. The guy behind him, Zimmerman, has been playing the best, and things kind of backfire. He gets a bases loaded hit, bringing in 2 RBIs, so Cubs are down 3-1. You bring in Justin Wilson. That was kind of scary, but he got the 2 batters faced. At least keep it so we're still down 3-0. So it was going to be more of a challenge in the bottom of the 9th to come back instead of 1, down by 3. And Cubs finally started getting it going. A little bit of some bad pitching, with a couple guys hit, a base hit, and then we bring in a pinch hitter, David Bote, with bases loaded. We're still down 3-0. There's one controversial call where it should have been 2-1. It was 1-2. So 2-2 count coming up, down to our last strike, down 3-0, and David Bote hits a grand slam. Holy cow. Can't believe this guy's a rookie. He's really forcing his way into the lineup. Cubs win and walk off 4-3. It was amazing. They now have a 3-game lead in the division over Milwaukee, and then they are off today on Monday, so it's Milwaukee. So Cubs have a 3-game cushion over them. They play 2 games against Milwaukee. The division won't be won or lost in these 2 games, but it can give the Cubs more cushion. They could be up by 5 games. They also have, the Cardinals hanging in there at 5.5 back. Pirates are falling some at 8. That will be the next series. I will see that series. Cubs have an opportunity to really put them away mathematically. So right now, Cubs are 13 wins and 11 losses in the second half. It hasn't been as great as what we've seen with Madden since 2015, where they really step on the gas pedal in the second half. Some of it is we are missing some key players that could contribute. Our closer Morrow, even though Strope's done pretty well, but it just makes the bullpen a little bit thinner, and will make things stronger if he can come back very effective. And Darvish could help. So hopefully we hear about him doing some rehab starts pretty soon. I think that's the plan, to bring him up in September. And it's just been one of those things where starting pitching starts to look better outside of Lester, who disappointingly, after an all-star start, he's been our worst starter since the all-star break, over a 10 ERA. So very disappointing, to say the least. Expect better things. Sometimes I wonder if they just DL him for a few weeks and, get him some more rest. But The options in Iowa aren't that great. Unfortunately, we've seen some progress by Mills and Clifton. Clifton's not on the 40 man. Underwood was doing a little bit better, but then they kind of regressed. Mills gave up 7 runs, and then Underwood got a little bit rocked last time. But we'll probably see those guys in September, at least Underwood and Mills. They are on a 40-man roster. They probably help out in the pen. I think the plan is like Darvish and maybe even Smiley to give some spot starts. It will be helpful, even if we might go into a 6-man rotation for a little while. Come August 21st, we play 23 games in a row. So that's not only a grind for your bullpen, but can be a grind for the starters if they're, say pitching 4 times in 20 days, or it makes a big difference to get 1 extra day off, sometimes pitching on 5 days rest opposed to 4. Especially when you get to the end of the season, you could run the risk of maybe dead arm or something. So exciting turn of events for the Cubs. David Bote, wow. This guy's an 18th round draft pick. We talk about all these high prospects. He wasn't even a top 10 prospect. One of those guys that came, he's like 18 or 19, either came out from high school or he might have played like 1 year in a community college. I think he went to like a Kansas community college, but wasn't a high draft pick. And 2016 is when I seen his numbers increase. And then 2017, he hit around 272, started to show more power. And they developed him in that fall league where he was a star in that fall league. And, I was thinking, he might be that 4th, 5th outfielder when Zobrist retires, which is still, after next year. But he's looking pretty well in the infield at second base and third base. So you hate to see Brian out. I mean, a former Rookie of the Year and MVP, but it's been a blessing in disguise that Bote's came in and done his job. So, and Madden's talking about getting him more reps in the outfield again. So I think they're finding ways to keep him on the team going into next year. Pretty exciting. And Cubs have control to bring all their position players back next year if they want to. It sounds like there might be someone either by a trade or we'll see that will not at least be on the opening day roster if they're committed to Bote too. But he just keeps forcing the issue, hitting like 329 and over 400 on base percentage and getting the power going, 3 homers. I think he hit like 12 for Iowa, so he's definitely capable. Shoot, we've seen him hit a 2-run homer to tie the game in the 9th against Arizona. And then Rizzo's home run won us the game. And then now we see a grand slam. Something you don't see down 3-0 down to your last strike. I read that's never happened for the Cubs before. And they win the game 4-3 after they just couldn't get the bats going. Against a great pitcher, it does happen. But hopefully going forward, we get the bats going and the starting pitching going more on the same page. It's been one or the other, which kind of explains why we're a little bit better than 500 since the All-Star break at 13 wins and 11 losses. This month, the schedule can be somewhat favorable. I mean, Milwaukee is no pushover. Pittsburgh is cooling down a little bit, but then you have like Detroit. But you got to play the game. I mean, we split San Diego. They were the worst hitting team. Granted, they beat Milwaukee 2 out of 3, and they beat first place Philadelphia yesterday. So sometimes even a bad team gets hot at a good time to make things difficult to a first place team. So it does happen. We beat Royals 2 out of 3. Last game was very disappointing. But it is what it is. So I'm just thankful Cubs. The other, like Milwaukee's not really tearing things up either. I think we're a couple of games ahead of them going into the break, or up to 3.5 at one point. So we're still 3 games ahead of them, and we have a chance with their own destiny to make it to 5 games if we can win both Tuesday and Wednesday. Plus, we played 4 games less than Milwaukee, but it will be a grind coming up. Enjoy this day off, and we get another day off a week on Monday the 20th, and then the 21st We played 23 games in a row, so we should start hearing more about how guys are doing, rehabbing. Darvish, Morrow, Bryant, that can help contribute. Three pretty good players that can be a definitely factor down the stretch. And then you have some exciting Iowa call-ups. Most of the time it's going to be the relief that's going to help you too. I mean, you need that if we'll be going on 11 days in a row. And at this point, we don't have any guys at minor league options on the pitching, starting or relief. So you'd have to DL someone and bring up someone new if you wanted a fresh arm. Yeah, that's a possibility, but is what it is. Hopefully, like I said, things can start clicking more with offense and pitching at the same time. They all showed they're capable of it. So it's time to get it done. Time to get a bigger lead in the division. Get ready for the playoffs. So exciting walk-off homer for Bo T. Hate to see it come down to that point, but you're going to have some of those games, and you got to hit in the clutch when you need to. Go Cubs, go.